Hello and welcome back to the Feet and Away Results podcast. I'm Duncan Gorman and I'm joined here by my partner in crime, Nathan Weir.
Hi Duncan, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not bad yourself. A slow start to the results. I'm just gonna. It's the first podcast, so I'm just gonna set out the sort of structure of what we're gonna do. I'm gonna set out the results, and then we're gonna have a chat, and then we'll set out the table. So first week's results, a lot of cancellations. Newtonmore 0, Kilmally 2, Lovett 5 and Kinlochshiel 0. Nathan, 2 shock results. What do you make of those?
Yep, they were, Duncan. Not the best start to the season for all the teams. Pretty hellish weather. Yeah, so let's just talk about the Kinlochshiel result first of all, because we'll get on to the Newtonmore in due course, but McLaughlin scores 4. I mean, this boy looks to be on fire. He joined from Bewley last season. He's already scored a brace of goals for Lovett already, and he seems to have hit the starting line.
Not an easy
straight off.
team to score against either. You wouldn't expect such a high scoring result between those two giants, especially compared to last season where they're both sort of, you'd expect them to both come top of the table.
Yeah, in recent years, Kinlochshiel have always had one over Lovett. They've always usually had Lovett at the start of the season, and they've always put in a really good, strong result against them in both league and cups. So there was a massive shock. I know Kinlochshiel are struggling a bit. They're missing some players, but really that kudos to Lovett for putting out that great result.
A very, very strong result for the opening weekend for Lovett. Kinlochshiel, do you think the travel might have had something to do with it? It's the first game of the season, the weather's not bad, the pitches can be difficult. Does that not suit Kinlochshiel's style of play, or do you think it's more of just a team issue that maybe they just got off the wrong foot?
I think it's possibly been hard. I mean, I know that both teams wouldn't have been able to get a great pre-season on the go. Poor pitches makes training difficult. I know that some of the teams would have had to train on AstroTurf. It's different kind of getting the transition onto grass. And I also know that just lack of pre-season friendlies makes a huge difference. So maybe one of them was rusty and one of them was more. Yeah,
there definitely
ready.
was a huge lack to friendlies, especially in my experience. I missed at least 4, I think, or something like that. But any word in the Kinlochshiel pitch? Will it ever be built? Is it a myth, a legend?
We'll keep praying. It's just like the Kinlochshiel bear, you know. You never see him, but he'll get there sometime.
You'll appear. So another shock result, perhaps even more than the other one. Newly promoted Kilmally taking out Premiership champions Newtonmore. What do you reckon?
Well, I was really shocked by this result, but going on the results from Kilmally in the National, they absolutely swept aside all the other teams and did very well. They had the win of the Ballymore and a league trophy behind them, so they're a really strong start, and they're going to be one to watch this season.
Yep, definitely. I think as well, they also give Newtonmore a hard run in the semi-final of the Scottish. Could there have been a vengeance? They lost very closely on penalties there. My only experience in the first team, just as well I've got a very experienced team to sort of drag me through it. But yeah, a poor result for Newtonmore. Although looking back to last season, we can still expect great things. Everyone said the same things last season when Newtonmore lost 1 or 2 games. They dropped points in a draw, and then they came back and they won the treble. Is there still plenty of time? Of course there is.
Oh, yeah, never discount Newtonmore. I mean, they're always a strong side, and they're definitely not over the hill, as some people were saying last season. They just showed that. They reacted well, and I know they're going to react well from this result.
How important is next week's fixture against Caberfeid for PJ's team?
Yeah, he really has to. He has to rally his troops. They have to get over the hard loss and just start getting some points on the board.
Definitely. Stephen McDonald missing from the squad. He's carrying over suspension from last season. How important do you think that would have been for Kilmally's victory? Do you think he is a very strong player in the midfield?
Yep. Naturally, I mean, he's won Player of the Year countless times. He's capped for Scotland. He rarely puts a foot wrong. But one point you did mention was the red cards and the discipline. So maybe that's something that PJ's team really need to clamp down on, because it could come back to bite them in the end.
Definitely. So we'll move on to week 2 now. So moving on, slightly more fixtures this time. Oban Camanachd 2, Lovat 2, Caberfeid 0, Newtonmore 3, Kingussie 1, and Lochaber 1. Slightly more games. We're getting there. Are you surprised that Lovat dropped points here?
Yes and no. I mean, Lovat, with their strong showing at Kinloch Shield, they were expecting a win here and they would have had a strong momentum. But I've played Oban Camanachd already this season as part of the GMA team, and in the pre-season friendly they were deadly up front. So it sounded like a great game, and I would have loved to actually watch that. But they're two definite title contenders, I would say. It's early on in the season, but.
Yeah, definitely. I can also confirm that Oban were in great form before the season, having beaten Newtonmore 3-1, I think the final score was. Not that any of pre-season does count. But yeah, does this give more hope for Newtonmore? A 3-0 beat over Caberfeid. It's definitely what PJ's team needed to bounce back from this, and also Lovat dropping points is quite reassuring.
Yep, it's good for Newtonmore finally getting some points on the boards. They're just going to need to keep reacting. They've got some difficult games up ahead, so they're going to need to start if they want to keep their title. They've got some people nipping
very
at their
high
heels.
Expectations to keep, don't they? And I'm not sure there's going to be many more opportunities for them to come back from a loss so early on in the season. Kingussie 1-0 throughout the whole game. And then an unexpected Lochaber equaliser in the last dying minutes of the game. Is this a bad result for Kingussie?
Well, I think they'll be disappointed. I mean, they've got a really great young side. They're the up-and-coming team, in my opinion. I know a lot of the players, very young boys. They've been as a unit through the under-17s, under-14s, under-21s. A lot of caps for Scotland. They would be expecting more, but kudos to Lochaber for holding them to that result.
They have been on they've been on strings at the minute. Lochaber, they've been scrambling for teams. There was some question as to what would happen for them this season. So they'll be very happy with that result, especially playing against such a strong young side. So moving on, now I'm just going to round up the past fortnight's league table standings. So in first place we have Lovat on 3 points. Newtonmore in second with 2 points. Kilmallie third with 2 points. Fourth is Oban Camanachd with 1 point. Fifth is Kingussie with 1 point. And sixth is Lochaber. Again, there has been 5 games missed, I think it is. Yep, 5 matches abandoned over these 2 weeks. So this table is a very rough draft. And over the next coming weeks, I'm sure it's going to change a lot. What do you make of that first sort of emergence of the league table?
Yep, as you said, it doesn't show the full picture. There's been a lot of fixtures that haven't been shown, but I'm really backing Lovat this season. I mean, they've shown a really, really powerful start to the season. Two good results, you would say. Kilmallie also, I think they've got the potential, but the ones to watch, I would say, are Kingussie and Lovat.
Yep, definitely. I can't stand too far away from you there. Obviously, being biased, I'm going to have to put my own team in there and hope that Newtonmore do pull round over the season. They are notoriously slow starters, so hopefully, after a couple of games, we warm up into it, the pitches get better, we start training outside, and I'd like to expect that Newtonmore do crawl their way back up that table. I'm sure plenty is going to change the next couple of weeks once everyone's had a couple of games, and we'll see what happens. So thank you for listening to the first edition of the Feet and Away Results podcast. I've been Duncan Gorman, and I've been joined by Nathan Weir. We'll see you all in a couple of weeks.